This is the Lenovo XiaoXin. It's an 8-inch Android 7.1.1 tablet, and it's very similar to the Tab 3 Plus. This is running the same specs, so it has a Snapdragon 625, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of internal storage, a 4850 milliamp hour battery. It has a fingerprint reader on the right hand side that's incorporated into the power button, as you'll see there. And it also has a 5 megapixel camera up the front, 8 megapixel on the rear, which is autofocus. Along the top, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, Type-C port, and front-facing stereo speakers, which is really good to see. They're not mono ones, and unlike the Tab 3 Plus, these are firing out towards you, directed towards you, so they do sound a lot better. I'll give you a sample of those later on in the video. Down the bottom, we have a microphone, so that can be used in video and your Skype calls and other applications. On the left-hand side, there's a little flap here with the Lenovo logo where you can insert a micro SD card. Up to 256 gigabytes is supported. I've tested out 128 and it works perfectly fine. You can set it up as portable storage or use it as internal storage if you find you run out of space installing apps on the 64. So the build quality of it isn't bad. It is made out of plastic, the whole rear, but it has a nice feel to it. It's also very light and quite thin to this tablet. And overall, build is good, very comfortable to use, no real complaints. The bezel size isn't exactly the slimmest, but it gives you somewhere to place your thumbs and your fingers, your palms, without touching the screen. So it is practical, the bezels it has on here. So inside the box, you get the tablet wrapped in plastic, some instruction manuals and promotional material, all in Chinese. We have a Type-C cable that's black, and then our power adapter, which is 2-prong. Now this is rated to 5.2 volts, 2 amps. The tablet weighs in at just 302 grams. Thanks to that plastic build, it's very lightweight and comfortable to use. And comes in under 8 millimeters, so it's very thin as well. So displays 1920 by 1200, 16 by 10 aspect ratio. Now up the top here, it looks like we do have an ambient sensor in hardware, but with my ROM, there seems to be no way to actually activate auto screen brightness. You have to control it manually, which is a bit of a disappointment there. Now the screen brightness at the maximum level maxes out at 470 lux. It's a fully laminated screen, and it does look really decent. I do like the colors, the reproduction on here. Viewing angles are also good. Now one area I feel they could improve on the screen is the touch scrolling. Now the responsive touch is good, but I feel that the scrolling at times could just be a little bit more sensitive. At times it seems like it's just not as sensitive as it could be here, you see, when scrolling. But performance here in Chrome is very decent, and it's smooth enough, the typical kind of performance you would expect from a Snapdragon 625. So it comes with Android 7.1.1, and these are the applications we get straight out of the box. So it does come with a lot of pre-installed bloat, unfortunately, but the good thing is you can uninstall most of it, which is great. You also get approximately 50 gigabytes free of that 64 that it has. So it is running a more recent version of Android. The Tab 3 that I had was stuck on Android 6, and this is going to be stuck on Android 7.7.1. And while I say stuck, is there is no over-the-air update system that I can find on this particular model. Now it could be down to the fact that this is running a shop ROM, so someone's modified it, reflashed it with Play Store on here, and this is the reason why. The tablet gets 60,000 in Antutu, you can see here, which isn't bad for the Snapdragon 625 chipset. More or less, other devices I have tested out and the Tab 3 Plus will get this score. The internal storage is also very fast. It maxes out at 270 sequential reads and 141 sequential writes with good random 4Ks. So very fast storage. This is why multitasking and the performance of it overall is good. One other thing is excellent wireless on this device, which is really good to see. So very fast speeds here, testing with my 300 megabit fiber line, and also tested out the range. So I went over to the other side of the apartment, and the range is still really good. And the speeds here back that up. So speeds do drop, of course, but very decent. So really good wireless on this. If you need a tablet that's got great wireless, this is one to go for. We also have GPS on here, which is really good to see, but what isn't good to see is they ditched the hardware compass on this model. It's on the Tab 3 Plus that I reviewed from Lenovo, but not on this particular model. Accuracy was down to 5 meters, and overall, very good, the GPS. So just how does the ROM performance? Actually really quite good. Not bad at all. Multitasking, can swap between your applications quite quickly. It will do split screen as well on apps that support it. Overall, ROM performance is not an issue at all with this particular model here. So most tablets really do suck from China when it comes to speaker quality. They are normally very flat and poor. But we've got two front-facing speakers. You can see those slight little grills there, left and right, and I really do like the speakers on this. It's using Dolby Atmos, so it's more like an equalizer. You can tweak, you can boost the sound, you can just adjust it and fine-tune it. Now, audio quality out of the 3.5mm headphone jack is very decent. It's good. I really do like the quality coming out of this, considering the price, and it's a tablet. And I'll give you a sample now of the front-facing speakers, just how they sound. The tablet comes with an Adreno 506 GPU. Now this GPU is capable of pushing games that are graphically demanding at 1200p without any problems. It's not super smooth 100% of the time depending on the games you test. You will see now and then a few little stutters, but games like Hit, Shadow Fight 3 and World of Tanks all ran perfectly fine on this tablet with playable frame rates. With an 8-inch screen and a tablet that's this light and thin, it's very comfortable for ebooks and PDF files, and I found the performance to be reasonable. It's certainly not the fastest when you're using large PDFs. Moving on now to battery life, which I find to be very good here. I managed to get 10 hours and 16 minutes of on-screen time with the combination of that 4850 mAh cell and the Snapdragon 625, which is a very efficient chipset. So during this use here, I did quite a bit of gaming. So 55 minutes here of Shadow Fight 3. Also streamed Amazon Prime for 1 hour and 32 minutes. YouTube for an hour as well, 1080p quality. And then I played Hit for about 4 hours almost there. So moderate kind of use, very happy with the battery times that you're able to get out of this. Now to fully charge the device, it will take just over 2.5 hours, which is also very good. So here's a sample from the front-facing camera. It does crop in a little bit, and I find the quality to be quite decent as well as the audio, considering this is a tablet. Now most people would normally just use their mobile phone. So on the rear camera, we also have up to 1080p video from that 8 megapixel camera, and the quality is quite good, but you will notice that the focus is constantly pulsing in and out, so it has that focus breathing issue, which is very common on many devices. Other than that, I really do like the quality. For a tablet, I find it to be very good. It's just ruined a little bit by that focus. So there we go. This is an all-rounded great little 8-inch tablet. I do like it, love the weight, and it's just got really good weight distribution on it too. Really decent screen, so it's bright, it's fully laminated. We've got GPS. We are lacking a couple of things though. There's no ambient light sensor, there's no compass, and there's no HDMI out. If it had those three things, then I would probably declare this one and the Tab 4 Plus, if it's got the same spec, as being one of the best Android 7 tablets, 8-inch ones that you could buy. But I won't go that far, but I will say that this is very, very good. It does come recommended. Really enjoying my time using this tablet. So the ROM performance is decent, it's good. I haven't noticed any lag or stutter. Gaming performance from the Adreno 506 is also great. You do sometimes get a few little stutters in games that are very demanding, but overall it's a smooth experience and everything loads up quick enough thanks to that eMMC 5-spec drive this has on here with the 64 gigabytes of storage. So the cameras, they're okay. There's an autofocus problem with the rear camera, but I doubt too many people are going to be bothered by that. It still works out to be fine for Skype calls, both the front and rear cameras. For ebooks, also very decent in this tablet. But if you're going to be using this for GPS navigation, I would go for the Tab 3 Plus with the hardware compass and GPS module. So that's really the only things that this tablet lacks. And also the price at the moment, $240 or so US, means it's a little bit pricey, I feel, for what it is. Even though the spec is really good, the build is great, the screen is good, is it worth the extra cash? I feel it is, but wait for the price to drop down a little bit, or take a look at the Tab 4 Plus, which is basically exactly the same as this and a really good little tablet. Now, if you haven't seen my review of the Tab 3 Plus, which is the interior model to this one, the older model, then check out my review of that here or here. If you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing, and I do hope to see you back with more up and coming reviews. Bye for now.